The Dusty Futon Podcast is a product of the Dusty Futon LLC and Dusty Futon Productions. Go to dustyfuton.com for more information. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Dusty Futon. Thank you for tuning in week after week for new, local, independent talent, artists, musicians, and the like. We like to bring them and dish them up to you right here on the Dusty Futon. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, any of those places. And feel free to give us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. And this episode is brought to you by Backstage360.com, the musician's media. The Dusty Futon is a musician's podcast bringing you the raw musician and what they bring to the table. Backstage360.com works hard to bring you even more with creative write-ups, professional interviews, and stunning photography. Backstage360.com also assists with the promotion of events, products, tours, new music, and they provide an overall insider's peek into the impedimenta of the backstage. Backstage360.com, they truly are the musician's media. This episode features the Brett Ellis Band. These guys right away kind of redefine fusion rock in many ways, like a lot of newer bands are starting to do. They integrate jazz, blues, and even metal, and they even debut one of their tracks, The Enemy Within. And that just may be the title track for their new upcoming album. We don't even know yet. We kind of talk about actually what fusion means, but enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump right onto the Futon and check out the Brett Ellis Band.
So the Dusty Futon is rated RN.
It's rated
17,
whatever the fuck you want it to be rated.
Yeah, it's
rated R.
Do you want me to bleep anything out? I will. If you don't, I don't care.
Yeah, we're not.
It's still rock and roll.
You wanted kind of
Yeah, I don't
the
give a
pace
shit,
right
man.
there.
You should have seen the writer. Holy fuck, man! You want to talk about it? It was awesome.
You know.
Only green M&Ms and strippers and just other stuff.
We got a special writer
Horrors,
here.
call girls, you know.
We got a country writer
The
here.
FBI's really cracking down on that, though, now. So
Well, that's why you get those throwaway
real
phones or
careful.
something.
Does
What are
what?
those called? Those phones you like throw away? They're like disposable.
Oh,
My
yeah.
mom actually has one, and she was telling me about it
Burners.
yesterday. A burner phone.
I'm not going to tell you how I know that, but
And my mom actually said to me yesterday at lunch, yeah, if you're going to do anything stupid, use my phone. She's like, you can just throw it in the
Wow.
lake.
She's
And you can
protecting
throw
you.
it in the lake. She's 77 years old. And I didn't even know what the hell she was talking about for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I still don't.
well, if you have no idea what anything is going on right now, we're talking to the Brett Ellis Band.
If you don't know what's up, it means you're enlightened.
Yeah.
We're going to enlighten you right now.
All right.
This is Choice Enlightenment. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Doing good.
Welcome to... Jesus, I am so...
Yeah, what the fuck was that, Big John?
Save your keyboard.
I don't have... the
He's
space for
discombobulated. Those are one of those $20 words I like to use every
Cable-
now and again.
that. You
Too
pulled
much
that one out of
cables
your
will do that to you.
I like that one. As well as, I have a couple other ones, too. Let me
Okay,
just
I
reach
figured
back.
it out. I got this. We're good. So- Oh, I'm sorry. You have more words?
Ah, forget it.
Okay. Anyway, Brett Ellis Band. We've got Brett Ellis in the house.
Yeah.
Woo! And his cohort, Calvin. How you guys doing?
Good.
Now, this is
all
2/3 of the Brett Ellis Band, right?
Yeah, Rick Nash, the maestro.
Oh,
Badass
He's,
bass player.
Preoccupied.
That guy.
We'll get him here next time.
preoccupado. Got it. And you're here to just kind of talk about your music, but you've been on the scene for quite some time. You've kind of reinvented yourself multiple times over and over again, but you always have like a blues focus to you.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about that. Like the transformations over the last 20 years.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, we got plenty of time. And go.
Right? Yeah, right.
The clock is ticking, man.
I don't know. The blues is the root. It can go a lot of ways, you know, and it spawned jazz, and you can incorporate that into the heavy songs and your lead playing, and then the rhythms get more complicated. It just kind of goes back from, you know, the the earliest form. I'm just influenced by everything, really.
Yeah.
So acoustic blues guys into the chess era, Chicago era, and all that inspired my favorite bands, you know, Zeppelin, and
The good blues rock from the 70s.
it came from there. It doesn't sound the same, but, you know, you put it all together, and of course that inspired all the heavy stuff later. And It's just all.
Well, you call yourself
we are.
fusion rock, and it's actually a really good term because it's just like you said. It's not like you're trying to replicate the '70s rock or anything like that.
Fusion rock is a good term in a lot of ways. I mean, typically fusion would be like kind of more of a progressive, aggressive jazz thing from the '80s, but we're fusing acoustic blues, we're fusing metal, we're fusing Charlie Parker lines over hard rock grooves. We're fusing everything we can pretty much together into something that is sort of sounds like more focused. You know, it's not completely.
So Brett, when did
control.
you start playing music, or when did your interest start? Your music is
the same as everybody.
What kind of catalyst drove you into playing?
Well,
You
the first catalyst was wanting to be a rock star before playing.
Oh, that's it. Right.
Every little boy's dream.
Yeah, I think we're
For the chicks.
This is the honest truth. Ace Frehley,
Oh,
yeah.
with his smoking pickup on fire, you know, and holding that sustain was just like, wow, that's like probably the coolest thing I ever seen.
Yeah.
But then from there, I heard The Song Remains the Same, and that just slammed the deal. Dazed and Confused live, 26 minutes of mayhem in my headphones was just like, I'm buying a guitar tomorrow.
Right on.
That's awesome. You do like you said, you kind of sound influenced by that genre, that style from the '70s rock, but you do have a different sound within you. So let's actually go and listen to one of your tracks. Now, this is The Enemy Within. What album is this off of?
Our next album, soon to be released. This is a exclusive
sneak peek.
premiere right here. By the way.
Ooh, we like that.
It was just mixed and mastered last night. The album most likely be called Enemy Within, and it's the first mix we have of the album. So I don't know how long, 6 months or so down the road, it'll be released.
It might sound a little bit different, but for right now, we've got The Enemy Within, the first mix off of the title, hopefully the title track of the album, The Enemy Within by the Brett Ellis Band. Right away, this hits you. I think it scared the shit out of you. You jumped in your seat a little bit, Kim.
It's true. It's all true.
It might be wet.
Maybe I got a little wet spot, but you know, hey.
Prison, your senses have built around you. No foundation, desperate souls. Fire out where you're staying. Masquerade the equal eye.
Well, that's a very metal riff. I love that one.
Yeah, we're leaning that way on this next project.
Okay.
It was actually an
Little heavier.
intentional move.
Kind of like a shift in the paradigm.
Exaggerating that part of it.
Yeah.
It's been there, but we're exaggerating. Yeah, making and because I have a habit of being too diverse.
Yeah.
You know? So
That's
trying to
a
be-
bad thing.
Trying to be focused. I won't say less diverse. I'm just going to say focused.
Well, that's a good way. That's a good way of putting it.
Feelings throw you under. Ineffectual now are you. The enemy holds you down. There's a living super force faction far beyond you. This enemy, he must die before you see with equal eye. Slaves of fear, no masters here. The enemy is crystal clear. Never failing fights and fools his pride. See it holding power over all you do. What you really want to know is how to see with equal eye. While brushing at the opaque veil, unsafe in its disguise. The enemy within, enemy within. The enemy within, enemy within. The enemy within, enemy within. The enemy within.
That backline, enemy with it. That's very punk.
Yeah.
I think
Brilliant.
that FU backline, that's kind of like Kids in the Hall type backline, you know, that's...
Yeah, nice. Glad you see that.
Yeah, nice runs there. Holy shit. Those are pretty good. Do you do those same runs the exact same way live?
Sometimes not. That I had to because I doubled it. But actually, it's funny about that because normally my lines are more outside, and I purposely. That's one. I mean, I deliberately played no outside notes.
Wow.
Speaking of fusion,
Yeah, that was
in that solo.
Insane.
that was an incredible solo.
Ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Holy F-balls.
I think that's on. Are your strings on fire at this point? Jesus.
Your strings and your fucking sticks must be just like blazing in your hand.
Yeah. Like my wrist. If I tried to play this, my wrist would be like Jello.
We can light our cigarettes off of Calvin's sticks right now.
That's a sick drum groove.
Dude,
Thank you, Calvin.
Well done.
That
An amazing
song.
sounding Black Beauty snare drum.
Nice. Is that Ludwig?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought
big
so.
Big fan.
Changes everything.
Is it? How deep is
It's
it?
really it's the hub of the universe.
6 inches, baby.
How deep does your drum head go?
Oh, here we go.
It's a deep one. Just like me, it's a deep snare.
All righty, let's move on past that.
Again.
So that was the Enemy Within, and that's that was your first master mix of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but over the next 6 months, you're going to kind of like go analyze it and see if there's anything more.
That's it. That's
Nice.
the path for
There's
the
gonna
next
press it?
8-9 songs.
Well, that sounds amazing. Like that, the production quality alone was good, and then
Yeah, talk about a taste
Jesus,
of the goodness. Man, it's coming.
Yeah,
Again, that's what she said, right?
it's a good one. It's
it's funny how it always ends up going that way, right?
It just does. It's just you're welcome, and I'm sorry. And
So there was-
welcome at the same time.
Yeah, you're not sorry. Sorry, not
Not at all.
sorry. So like, we talk about fusion, and fusion nowadays has so many different variances because it always has either a rock or a hip hop base, but you mix so many different genres and crossover.
Well,
And
now it's out of control. I don't even know. I don't know what genres are or anything. But that's when you talked about influences and all that stuff. I don't understand categories. You know, I mean, fusion originally was the progressive jazz rock bands.
Yeah, actually from the 70s.
Yeah, from the 70s.
Yeah.
It just means to combine various elements. That's
Yeah.
all it means.
Exactly.
Just to bring a lot of different things together
Interesting.
and, and create something new out of that. I mean, when you think about it,
it's the
every-
natural progression
Yeah.
of music in
every
general.
kind of music there is came out of the blues.
Yep.
It came out of, rhythm and blues, and before that, Dixieland and jazz and all that. And it's everything has just blossomed. There's just now a thousand different fusions of music, and everything builds upon what came before.
So, Calvin, what's your background on drums? Like jazz, blues? Like, where did you start?
Me?
Yeah.
Were you in marching band
like
in high
everyone,
school?
I started.
Were you?
With, I started with rock, and
His
then
daughter's an awesome
just
dancer.
opened up to. And,
Whatever.
so there was so much to choose from.
Did you play in high school?
I played. I didn't play high school music. I played in high school. Yeah,
Played in a rock band in high school?
yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, and but I definitely listened to the jazz fusion guys of the '70s, all the greats: Miles Davis, Chick Corea, Weather Report.
I ask because you're so technical and so on point.
Yeah,
music
I mean,
wise,
You
too.
practice rudiments?
Oh yeah, I mean all
Okay.
that stuff. Sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't play rudimentally.
No, but
No, I'm saying it's not technique oriented or drum riff oriented. It's about learning all that, then forgetting it, and just
You go with
performing what
Yeah.
you think.
Well, it
thinking
becomes
What suits the
with the
song.
repetition of rudiment. I'm a drummer myself. That's where I got my starting.
I'm not.
And
I'm not a drummer.
Rudiments are the core to any drummer, and
Yeah.
it's like you said, when you learn it and then, like you said, forget it, then it becomes a natural part of your playing.
Yeah, then it's just incorporating it into musical phrases.
Exactly.
The point is to utilize it, not just play those things. Then you can always hear when someone, whether they've studied rudiments or not, the
Yeah.
lack of.
Well, and it does.
They're
You
thinking
know.
in terms of those riffs rather than thinking in terms of phrasing.
Well, and the way Brett plays, it just you guys complement each other so amazingly. It's a pleasure to hear you guys.
Yeah, and on on the subject of Calvin, I mean, in my diversity, there's no way I could execute what I do without him. His skill allows me that diversity. There's a song called "Cause You Ain't" on Monkey Brain's album.
Oh yeah.
That Steve Gadd type syncopated groove. You know, your average rock drummer cannot create that feel, that syncopation. And behind the beat, on the beat, head of the beat, whatever you want, you know, he's got total command of his instrument. And it allows me to do anything from the simplest blues to the most complicated thing, like something like Blast Knuckles and the Odd Time sections. Whatever it is, he's going to play it perfectly.
Well, now Monkey Brains came out in 2012, right?
You would know better than me. I never look at the years of those things.
How I read somewhere that you're recently, I think it was 2015, you had your very first live album ever out.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that was, yeah, you could say that on mic.
What? I did not know that.
Throw in a what? Yeah.
I want one of those. What?
There we go. All right. Yeah, no, yeah, your very first live album came out a few years ago. And where can you find that for sale? Where do you have that?
Grooveyard Records. So there's a list of albums that you can rattle off there in the email, but the first ones I did on my own, and they're available through CD Baby.
Yeah, I found a couple of those.
And then Calvin joined. I wrote Monkey Brains, and we did Monkey Brains, which was also released myself, which is also on CD Baby, and then Zero, the same thing. But it started with Redemption at the Mojo Circus. We ended up on Grooveyard Records out of Rochester, New York.
Okay.
So that's grooveyardrecords.com. So cdbaby.com, you can get hard copies of my self-released, and then you can get copies of the Grooveyard stuff, which would be Redemption, Reflections of Electrified Music, Warriors Before Me, which is a cover album, hence the Out of Love song. And then
Wait, what's that album called? Lawyers Before Me?
The Warriors Before
Oh, the
Me.
Warriors.
Warriors,
I'm like,
not lawyers.
it's a cover album, and it's called Lawyers.
Yeah, that is
The
hilarious.
divorce attorneys are in
If
the
only I
room,
was that
right?
creative.
The things that I hear.
Where did that come from? Oh my God.
I hear shit. People talk to me.
And then the live album, and
You hear
I lost
voices?
track of what I said, but
Sorry.
CD Baby or
Brett Ellis.
records.com, and then of course all your digital Spotify's or iTunes.
Hey, Brett, I heard a little rumor that you started out as a classical guitar player.
No, I started out as a wannabe rock guitar player. However,
I thought we went over that already.
in my diversity,
but
I
he did have a little
fell
something.
in love with classical guitar, in particular Fernando Soar, and did 2 full albums of his music.
I wish I could finger pluck like classical guitar teaches you. I haven't gone through the training for that. I play guitar as well, but I hear it opens up because it's not your typical chording playing. It's not you have different structures in how your finger placement is than typical rock and regular guitar. So it opens up your kind of your brain and explodes it open to a whole new way of
when
viewing
you're
the
doing
guitar.
long compositions, you have to analyze, because there's multiple places you can play that note, open strings, arpeggios, and stuff. You have to analyze the fingering,
Yeah.
and then practice that to make that whole like a 10-minute piece flow. It's not easy on the hands, but it's definitely rewarding when you can play the whole piece.
Yeah. I admire that ability. That's
Crazy
a lot.
cool.
That's a lot of training and practice to be able to do that stuff. And actually, that leads to your runs that we heard in the last song. Like that's from that training probably helped with making those easier to play.
Well, not really, because unfortunately for me, they're two totally different instruments. I can't have nails when I play electric, so
Okay.
I rarely play classical. I need nails when I play classical to get the definition that I want.
That makes sense.
The theory education, sure, but the technique to play electric guitar is actually considerably different than playing a nylon string.
Interesting. Well, let's hear some more of your electric guitars, I'm sure, in this
What do we
track.
have?
Blast Knuckles.
That's right, baby.
And which is this off of the new album
That's
too?
off of Monkey Brain.
Oh, this is off of Monkey Brains. Monkey Brains that you can find on CD Baby, and this is Blast Knuckles. Definitely not
It
classical.
comes right at you. I love it.
Yeah, you have no holds barred with that catch you right off guard first shot. Make you piss your pants, jump out of the seat style.
That's what we want.
Oh my God.
A little bit of drums there. Eh?
That's sexy.
Super.
I like that.
This is really heavy for you, Brett and Calvin. Like, I've heard a lot of your stuff, and this is, I love it. I love everything you do, but this is like a heavier stuff.
This is 6 years old, too.
Yeah, so we played it the last show. It's
Yeah, I was there.
I don't know, like I said, I
Front and
just try to
center.
make the execution
what I do.
with as much conviction as possible.
See, you were like hard metal earlier in this same track. And then now you're got a little bit more funk and you're back to kind of the classic rock bluesy style. And it's so smooth, the transition, that you don't even know what happened until all of a sudden, snap. Oh my God, that was a funky bass line.
I feel like
Funkin' 7.
Yeah, no shit.
I feel like it's an ebb and flow, because I hear in different songs and different records and stuff that you guys do, some are like heavier, some are more jazz infused, and Calvin's
I don't know what
fucking
happened to music in terms of marketing. I mean, if you listen to old Beatles stuff, there's a vast difference between Blackbird and, say, Helter Skelter.
True.
You try to do that in the 80s, 90s, 2000s and stuff like that. It's like, well, what style are you, how are we going to market? And all the songs sound the same. You know, like cookie cutter bands, and you can only expand so far before they don't have any idea how to market you. Well, how do we lose that?
Well, we honestly we lost that because of I've been doing a lot of research on this, so it's funny you should ask. The music industry isn't being run by artists anymore, and that's where it ends. They've got a money-making machine.
Well,
They've got a formula.
Kind of always was.
Well,
I mean, it's never been run by artists.
No, it was. It's been either run by artists or extreme music fans, and now you've got people who aren't even that. They're bureaucrats who look at it as a money-making machine, and so they have a formula for everything, and that's why everything starts to sound the same, and that's why it's cookie cutter, because they know how to make money. And that's what they're formulating everything for. So it pushes independent rock bands that are just trying to enjoy themselves.
Right, but here's my point. Who's made more money than the Beatles?
Right. And you're right.
Yeah,
and they're they change up their.
But it takes a Beatles to make as much money as the Beatles.
But you know what I mean, though.
Alexa, who makes more money than the Beatles? There, now everybody listening knows.
I'm just saying you can still make money and be diverse and creative.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I love about listening to your records, because they are diverse and they're different and they're all amazing. So it's a pleasure to hear every song, every track on every record, and they are different. And it's
if you're an album listener, which is rare these days in the streaming world. You won't get bored. That's the cool thing about it,
So when do you expect this album to come out? You said 6 months earlier. Is that just a number or
end of the year? Maybe?
A year or less.
Cool.
It's hard to say. I got to write a couple more, and we have to record those, and we have to mix the other.
He's kind of a perfectionist. Have you noticed?
Yeah, I can tell.
Calvin too. They want their shit straight,
But it's not painstaking.
Painstaking.
So,
Sorry,
it's a natural flow, but it ends up how you want it for sure. But it won't be long. I can't wait. I'm excited about
Now,
it.
are you touring? Well, not touring, but you're still performing, right?
Yeah, we just had a killer show at Brick by Brick.
The fucking Brick by Brick was
playing at the Full Circle Saloon on July 6th.
Okay.
And
cool.
I think we have some other shows, but I'm not.
Where can people find the shows? Are you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, website,
Facebook?
RSS
I'm building
feed.
my site now. It
Tumblr.
crashed, and I'm redoing it. So
I noticed that. I was trying to get
it's
into it.
Brett Ellis Band on Instagram or Brett Ellis Band on Facebook.
Okay, and eventually BrettEllisBand.com.
Right.
But I saw Wix site is down.
Exactly.
I'm like, damn it.
But GoDaddy and I are straight, and I just got to sit down and do it.
All right, and you're going to have merch
So
there and
dating,
everything, everything located centrally on your website.
Yeah, it'll be
kind of
nice.
like we do here at the Dusty Futon. Everything's centrally located on our website, DustyFuton.com.
Plug it.
Shameless plugs.
plug intended. Okay?
That's what we do here. I'm a grounded plug, 3 prongs. I'm pushing
Shameless.
I'm a fister.
Emphasis on shameless.
it in. Whoa, Calvin's got no shame.
Wow.
What did he say? I missed it.
That's okay.
It was-
We're gonna go to the next song.
It's okay. It's all.
It was something about fisting. That's all
That
I could
was me.
It was you, Brett.
was
I
you?
wasn't Calvin. It
Oh
was
my
Brett.
God, Calvin's the one who turned red. I thought it was him.
Well, Brett gave me the writer. You should see that thing. Holy smokes.
Wait, he gave you the what? Never
The
mind.
writer. What he, the writer.
I don't know. That wasn't a technical writer. That was just me being a clown.
It was funny. It's
Okay.
pretty illegal.
I
Most of
feel
it.
out of the loop.
It's fun to break the law.
It was funny. He needs strippers. Jack Daniels. He had his things.
Yeah.
All right.
Vanilla
Typical
candles.
rock and roll stuff,
I have
right?
no idea
It
where
was
this is
funny.
going, so I'm gonna whip the reins around and tighten this noose.
Roosevelt.
All right.
We've got a track here now. This is a cover song, something we normally don't get to do on the Dusty Futon because
Covers?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they have a Van Halen cover song, but
Oh, holy smokes!
they own. Yeah, you're like, who cares about Van Halen? Really,
Eddie, we got Brett.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys, you own the rights, or your record label owns the rights to it. And so we have permission to play it via that.
Out on Grooveyard Records. The Warriors before me. The Warriors are, all the musicians that influence you.
Yeah.
And the struggles that they went through to bring you that music, since they are Warriors.
Right
and it's just a tip of the hat to the Warriors before me.
So these are heavily influenced by, or you're heavily influenced by Van Halen. And what is this
I'm
song?
heavily influenced by a whole bunch of things, but that's one of 10, 12, 13 tracks are on there.
Now this is a deep
Don't
cut.
take your shoes off to have to count.
All the cuts on the Warriors before me are super deep.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing you've probably heard before.
Yeah.
Unless
so
you've listened to 70s rock way down at the bottom of the barrel.
Like over B
sure
side
some
to
people
like
do.
D side.
Like you probably know Beautiful Girls from Van Halen too.
Oh yeah.
Do you know How to Love Again? Most people don't, so we do that song.
Well, let's
you probably
take
know Purple Haze, but you don't know the Hendrix song we did per se, or Robin Trower's. It's very obscure.
Now what is that? What is that album on again? These are on these cover songs.
The Warriors Before Me.
The Warriors Before Me. So we're going to go ahead and listen to the Van Halen
Great
cover, "Out of Love Again" on The Warriors Before Me by the Brett Ellis
Listen to
Band.
Calvin on this shit right here.
Are you kidding me?
There you go again, grabbing the shit out of everyone's eardrums and slamming them against the wall.
The shredder on the drums and the shredder on the guitar.
Boom. Now here's the question. That's Sammy, isn't it? This is a Sammy song, right?
Nope.
No?
Van Halen 2.
Really? This is Diamond Dave.
Ridiculous. Amazing.
Yep. Looked like he was about to pass out. He was enjoying that so much.
He was definitely in a Zen moment.
On the contrary.
Well, I mean, you just looked so zoned in.
Yeah. It was so much goodness.
I like it, man.
I do. Those chord progressions and the sound was definitely Van Halen. Now, did you try to emulate? I have never heard the Van Halen version of that song. Is that a whole different sound?
Yeah, we didn't go too far off, but we took it to another level for sure.
Okay.
on every aspect. You have to compare and contrast. We can't go into that now, but we took what was awesome and made it bigger.
Awesomer.
Yeah, I was gonna say you kind of brought it
Yeah.
up a couple notches.
Oh, it's already been brought in.
Well, you know, you got this
You got to do
dude
this
on the
when you
fiddle
say
and that guy on the fucking
Yeah.
skins. It's amazing.
You got me on that.
Oh, it's already been uprotten.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Not another. Was that not another teen movie?
Yeah,
Right.
she's got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
She got it. There it is. She's got
Oh,
it is.
Linz,
There it
where's
is.
your mic, girl?
Oh,
I like that actress, so don't give her too much.
Jamie
she's
Lee
so
Presley.
hot. Yeah, she's
Yes.
awesome.
My name is Earl. That's the My Name is Earl girl.
Oh, she's
She's hot.
adorbs.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Not that we're getting off track or anything.
We always seem to go back to sex. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I didn't know that was about sex. That was just about a hot chick. I didn't.
Oh, my
How
bad.
far
You
out?
made it about sex. I know. But see, she bridged that gap that was there. That wasn't there. It wasn't solidified yet.
It kind of was.
There was a stream running through it. and
Nope,
she
no
put the
stream.
bridge
Nope.
down.
Let's bridge that gap.
She's like, fuck it. Let's fill the stream in.
Hey, man, that's what I do.
Well, there
Yeah,
you go.
hello.
That's true. So what, I mean, other than the fact that the other songs are really expensive, what made you pick this song?
He kicked ass on that fucking song.
That song was a massive influence on me. There's it's that solo. It starts with a sixth, which is my favorite harmony interval, as opposed to starting with typical root bend and the syncopation. That type of syncopation just rocks my world.
The kind of big
So
band, jazz
as a kid,
feel.
I'm like, I'm learning that. I don't know shit that's going on here, but I'm gonna figure out how to do that.
Yeah, that spoke to you. Like
know?
it just hit
And
you.
I sat and I learned that solo cold.
Nice.
I mean, it's
Insane.
badass.
So how did it
Badass.
feel when you were able to get the rights to that song and perform and do this and perform it and everything?
You know, I just
Is it just another stepping stone in your career, or was it like
it's just
an
fun.
awesome moment?
It's just fun, you know, and doing it with Calvin was made it easy. It was so fun, you know, just being able to effortlessly take these awesome influences from your youth and just blow them up. It was a blast.
Speaking of,
Right.
The whole album was a cover album. It's the only album we did that was of cover songs. So everything was a remake.
yeah,
Yeah, I
But
didn't even know you guys
we
had a
stayed
cover.
true to the original vibe, but did it the Brett Ellis band style. And
Well, totally. You're not karaoke. You just bring in your own flair and influence, and it's very fucking on point. It sounds
And
great.
we expanded the arrangements and stuff like that
nice.
because a lot of these songs were done on vinyl
Yeah,
and short, and CDs give you the opportunity to
Right on.
expand a little bit.
yeah, definitely. And you're an album artist, so with the CD comes, you just slide it right in, or even put it on and turn that damn shuffle button off if you're downloading it through iTunes or something.
That's right. All Brett Ellis albums sound good when you slide them in.
Yes. All right. And
I won't even say anything, okay?
It never happens. It never not happens. There's
Enough
always
Brett, I know,
some
right?
sort of
Brett Ellis
phallic
just wants to
reference
slide it
or-
in. And it's one of
wow.
those things.
Okay.
I just said they sound good when you slide them in. You said the other.
right into the slot, right
feels
there in the
good,
slot, right in
feels
the
good.
dash. Yeah. That dash right there,
Okay.
The
it
dash
always comes
before.
down to that, doesn't it?
We're not regulated, so
Yeah, it's like Van Halen said when they were asked, "Why did you get into music?"
Yeah,
The
we know.
women.
Yeah.
Of course.
The money for nothing and the chicks for free. Oh my God. All right, so
That's fantasy, by the way.
yeah, I know. It used to be that way, but shit changes. But anyway, how long have you and Calvin been together performing wise?
I believe 2010.
Okay.
Because I released. I know I'm bad with years, like I said earlier, but I released Guiltlessly Free in 2009. But I didn't have a band to play live, and at that point, I had material I wanted to play live. So Calvin came along and saved my ass. So
How did you find him? Like, was this a
Jesus
Craigslist
Christ.
meetup, a personals
Yeah.
ad?
He no
Friend of a friend.
He's played. Yeah, he's a friend of a friend. He's played with other musicians that I know.
Okay.
And I needed someone with the skills to do what he can do, and that's rare. And
I bet you're
it
like
took a
Stone
little
Cold.
convincing at first. I won't lie, but because he didn't know me, but I was persistent.
Well, you got
It's
a lot.
definitely
of years
worked out.
Yeah, you guys look happy together. So
Oh,
it's
how
great.
cute.
It's
And
adorable.
It's adorbs. Totes
So
adorbs.
how many albums have we recorded? 7?
Wow.
Something like that. The Monkey Brain 0.
Because we even have done a couple side projects.
Yeah, I know you play out.
that we-
And we have a
recorded.
lot of stuff recorded, not out yet. And I mean, we've done a lot of stuff, and we're just getting started. By the way, let me say that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is
It's
7
funny.
albums.
20 plus years on the scene, and you're just getting started.
Yeah, well, you're right.
Kind of like that.
7 albums are just the prelude.
Yeah, this is all prep work. This is like, no,
It's
these are our demo
pre-production
albums.
here.
This awesome production, no. This mix, this great mix, no. That was a demo album.
Oh, yeah. They're all demos.
Well, speaking of demos, we've got another badass song here that you wanted us to play. Now, this one you said is a little bit of a different sound.
Well, it's still heavy, but it's more, sludge stoner heavy as opposed to fast, aggressive, precise heavy.
Sounds like my kind of song.
Right.
And
It's legal.
but it's
Yeah.
rooted in the blues still. It's got a lot of soul and stuff like that. A good example of how you can fuse,
Nice.
blues and kind of sludge stoner rock or whatever. And it's got a pretty deep message.
Well, what album is it off of?
Redemption at the Mojo Circus.
Okay. Redemption at the Mojo.
I know, right?
Okay, Redemption
Epic.
at the Mojo
Love it.
Circus. This is Furthest. Let me try that again. Furthest in the Sky by the Brett Ellis Band. And I already forgot the name of the album, so
Redemption at the
Redemption.
Mojo Circus, available at grooveyardrecords.com.
all right.
Go get yours.
Boom. I already like that intro.
Dig this right here.
Been so long since I crawled up from the canyon. Scent of sage draws memories of friends. And that first time we was gone. Now this here guitar done made me give up everything. So I could never let her down. You see, she done saved my life too many times. Feel me rising above you. Soon I'll be furthest in the sky. Now don't you cry. Furthest in the I pay more dues than any man can buy. Electrify man, go
have it.
I was waiting for that.
Speaking of time, it's not easy to maintain that behind the beat groove like that at that tempo for that long. Thank you, Calvin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that paradox saying, I'm very humble. I'm really humble.
But did you hear
In a really
my-
badass kind of way.
Yeah, I'm like the humblest of the humble. Listen to a little bit more solo by Brett Ellis. Nice slow fade out. There we go. Yeah, the sliders, the faders are coming down.
We kind of talked about maybe doing that live, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't we talk at one point?
Uh-huh.
It's been a while.
That's a good
Yeah.
middle.
And that's a
dying
badass
to-
tune.
I'm dying to do that song live.
That sounds like a
That's a
good
killer
middle of the
tune.
set tune. Like, you
Forgot
know,
about that one.
it'll send people to the bar to get another drink while they're just jiving, you know?
You'll never hear chord progressions in that bridge section like that in a band that plays songs like in that style.
No.
That's what I mean by the influence. There's that is blues converted into jazz in that bridge section, but I still try to make that work in sludge metal.
I love it. Sludge metal.
That's when I said
Coin a
junk rock.
phrase.
You know what I mean by junk rock, right? That when I said that sounded, it's
I
kind of
thought
like
you were
when
talking
you
about
talk
my-
about sludge. Okay.
Like early Soundgarden,
Yeah.
that type of stuff.
Exactly. So, well, man, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Is there anything else you want to plug, like anyone you want to give some props to?
We give props to Rick Nash, our bass player,
It's amazing.
and Grooveyard Records. What else? Brett Ellis Band at Facebook, Brett Ellis Band at Instagram,
Yep.
BrettEllisBand.com.
Look
next
it all
week,
up.
And,
I love it.
Alrighty, and we
All
got
things Brett Ellis Band.
That's where you can find all the music.
And the
at.
DustyFuton.com.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Brett.
Thank you again so much for coming out,
Calvin.
guys.
Thank you for having us.
No
It was
problem.
a pleasure. You guys rock.
Big thank you to the Brett Ellis Band for coming out and having a seat on the futon. Well, at least 2/3 of them. Brett and Calvin made it out. Rick Nash was unfortunately not able to make it, but I'll tell you, he makes it to every one of their shows. And speaking of that, if you want to hear what's coming out, what's going on for the next week or two and down in the scene of San Diego, don't forget to check out our concert reports released every Wednesday on the same channel. So all you got to do is subscribe, whether it's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, any of those places. Make sure you subscribe so that you also get those weekly reports. Also, big thank you to Spicy Kim of Wicked Tone Entertainment for being the executive producer and co-host for this episode. I'm your host, Big John. Please go check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/thedustyfuton. If you'd like to support the Dusty Futon directly, we will be offering behind-the-scenes access and many other features for a small monthly contribution. You can also go to dustyfuton.com where you can hear every episode ever produced of the Dusty Futon. And don't forget to check out Backstage360.com for some incredible information and editorials about bands coming to San Diego and all over the country. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dusty Futon, a Dusty Futon LLC production. And we will see you next episode right here on the Dusty Futon.